Today is all about making your move, and make your move is about ownership, owning your expertise, your ambition, your next step. And so in this conversation and all the ones we're going to have today, we're going to explore what it takes to make your move with purpose and impact. Please welcome Isabelle Rayel. Hello, Isabelle again.
Hello, thanks for having me today with you.
We're very honored to have you. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how your work helps move the print industry forward?
So, my name is Isabelle Billerey-Rayel. Actually, Rayel is the name of my husband, and I kept both names. This is very important because when I started and get married, they didn't want anymore to talk to me because I was a woman. So I decided to keep my both name because I started with my first one. So that's also giving you an idea about the fact. So I'm in charge at DALIM of the business development in Europe. I've been working in this industry for more than 35 years. And I must say, this is a word of passion. For me, this is passion. What's driving me? It's technology, it's tangible result products, and whatever we do, we see it everywhere. Could be newspaper, could be magazine, could be packaging. We have an impact on all of that. So the business of Dalim, we are a software company, and we are proposing a platform called Fusion to manage the production of content. When I'm talking about content, this is all kind of marketing content. Could be video, could be images, could be, of course, packaging, but it can be also all kind of mailing you may want to send, to the social media. So the idea underneath is to get a platform from where you can collaborate with your colleagues or also with your partners to produce more content, to make it consistent with your brand, and to make sure it will be delivered on time. So it's super diversified, and we have a viewer that enable you to manage version, to compare file, to compare video, to compare images, and to make sure that the last version you're looking at is the one you want to publish. So this is the business of Dalim. Dalim is a German company based at the border in between France and Germany. And we have been in activity since 1986. So we turned 40 years last year. And yeah, I must say the company is focusing on developing solutions to empower our customers. The profile of our customers is so diversified. When you talk about content, uh, everybody's today concerned by content. Because if you don't get the content, you're not existing, or it's very difficult to exist on the market. And so at the origin, it was a lot of printers, publishers, but today this is also brands, retailers, of course, agencies, pre-media company dealing with a wide range of content to produce for their customers.
We recorded a podcast, so I know your origin story, but I really want you to share it again in regard to the fact that you studied to be an engineer and you wanted to build cars.
Oh, yes, that's another story. This is an interesting one because, yes, I am an engineer, a mechanical engineer, and production engineer. And when I started, I wanted to join the car industry. I wanted to be part of a team building cars, really the one building cars. And I did apply to different jobs. And each time I was just not getting the job. Up to the moment, I met one gentleman who told me, I think you are the best profile for that job. I've seen a lot of people who are the one who is ticking the box, all the boxes, and you're also ticking more than the boxes expected because you can speak German, you can speak French, you can speak English. So it's super important for the car industry to be able to collaborate in different languages because it's an industry which was at that time very much central in Europe and especially in Germany. But he told me, you know what? I'm not going to give you the job. And then he explained me why. It's a simple reason was you are a woman. And as a woman, the industry is not ready to give you such an opportunity as a job. Today, it did change, I must say, because my two daughters are also engineers, and one is building aircraft engine. So, yeah, but it took more than 30 years. But this is progressing. And as I couldn't join this industry, this gentleman asked me, so do you have any other idea in mind what you want to do? And I told him, okay, if I can't join the car industry in France, I'm going to work abroad. So I was looking for a job in Germany and in UK. I did apply to different jobs, got the opportunity and selected the print industry because this was super fancy. It was software, it was creative, it was international, with a lot of opportunity also to meet with people from different countries. So that's what I decided to at that time. I must say today, I'm not regretting it at all. As I told you at the beginning, this is a job of passion.
Yeah.
And working in this industry is fascinating. You never disconnect it from the technology. You always have to be ahead of the technology. And I really love it.
I want to stay with this experience that you had for one moment, and in the sense that I want to help anybody who might face the same situation to hear how you dealt with it. And you, in our podcast, you spoke about the 10-minute interview. The first, they would interview you for 10 minutes and then you were out, and it was a pattern that you noticed that was repeating. So if you could explain what that was, and then I mean, obviously at the end you took it upon yourself to say, okay, if they don't want me, I don't want them either, and I'm going to keep it moving, and I'm going to go work in another country who will accept me, which is crazy. But if you can just talk about this 10-minute interview.
Yeah, I would say I was quite young. I was in this industry, the print industry at that time, in Germany. There were no women, or not at that position, not in the technical field, not in front of the machine, not in front of the computer. So they were not used to it. So each time I was facing customers or potential customers, we had meetings. This was always with men. And I was the only one quite young at that time. And they just wanted to check if my brain was working fine, if I was keen enough to be there. So I had during 10 minutes, more or less, very nasty question and very specific technical question. You know, at that time, this was about file format, about the way to connect computer, if you could do this, if you could do that. And then when they understood, I knew what I was talking about, then I had the trust. But this was what I was telling. Okay, each time it was a new meeting, new faces. I had my 10 minutes. So my concentration at the beginning of the meeting, I can tell you, it was, I have 10 minutes. I have to prove that I value where I am and what I'm doing, that I'm skilled enough to do this.
Had you ever been in a room where a gentleman faced the same test to make sure that they were qualified to do the job that they had?
Not really. I can't tell you. I experimented it because I think they are just in the position, you know, they are there. And if they are there, this means that other tested their skill. And but at that time, I must say today, I don't know if this is with age, because always recognition by the market, my 10 minutes are decreasing. Still,
Of
sometimes I
course.
get my 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Still, sometimes I do. But as the industry is changing, as the world is changing, or has changed, I must admit it's different today.
So, just to stay on this for one more second, because I think it's really important, I will tell you that I would not last through the 10-minute thing. At probably about 3 minutes, I would be like, I'm here to do a job. Do you want me to do it? Like I would start getting crazy on people. So obviously you didn't. So what do you do? Do you just say, okay, this is part of what I have to go through to do my own job? Or do you use it as an opportunity to say, to earn the respect of the people who are asking you these questions?
Yeah, that was for me, to earn the respect, to get the trust. And maybe this is also a matter of education. At that time I was also super young, without experience. So I was not sure if it was the way of doing it or not, but this was, as a matter of fact, the procedure.
Right.
I did follow the procedure, and maybe, I was more in this European skill. Maybe most likely today, the young generation wouldn't accept it at all, I think. But this is something a long time ago, that did happen
Yeah.
at that time. So and I think this was also the way probably I was educated, respecting people and just, okay, let's go, let's do the job. And okay, this is a process. Let's go through the process, and then let's win the trust.
Yeah. Okay, so before I'm going to ask the next question, but I'm really interested to know if you, for everyone who's here, put a one in the chat if you've ever been subjected to the test to see if you're qualified to do the job that you have, or anything around those parameters, and put a two if it has never happened to you. And then, Isabel, as those answers are coming in, can you let everybody know, what does making your move mean to you at this stage of your career?
I must say I have always been working in a man environment, and I had the opportunity to work with people with open-minded, trusting me. So if you do your job, they recognize your value and they give you the opportunity. But this is also something I learned when I don't like something, when I dislike something, or when I think it's not normal. I'm also taking the opportunity to explain it in a clear way. No emotion, but try to explain it. So because yeah, so it's super important, I believe, to be open-minded and also to try to improve yourself, telling people what's not going the right way, and why this way, and how we can improve it together. So but I must admit, I've never been facing anybody in the team I'm working with not trusting me, or putting me under pressure or in bad position. So I was in a very nice, and I am in a very nice surrounding environment where we are just trying to help each other and to learn about these things, and to trust, and that everybody with his or her own expertise is bringing some stone to the house.
Oh, I love that, is bringing some stone to the house. I love that. I never heard that expression before, but I think I'm going to steal it from you. Unfortunately, there's lots of ones in our chat, meaning that women are still or have been, exposed to that what you refer to as the 10-minute interview, which I also think is a great way of framing it. Can
Yeah,
you
but I
sh
think I have another one, and I really love that one.
Okay.
This is when we were doing show, and we was with colleagues on the show, on the booth,
Hmm.
and we really play a lot at that time with this. I was the one in the corner. I was a technical expert, and the man, they were more the salespeople. And at that time, uh, when we had visitors, they believe I was the woman to serve the coffee, and they went directly to the guy asking technical question, and the guy were just making pleasures and I understand, but I can't handle it for you. This is this lady. And this is a game we play. And I must admit, this was the best trust I had from my colleagues. But this was also the kind of game we had. So you can sometimes take some positive
Yeah, I
moment with
mean,
this.
it still happens to at trade shows, a woman business owner might walk in with her production person, or perhaps her husband or her son, who she just happens to be in the trade show with, and they beeline right to the gentleman and say, how can I help you? And they're usually like, oh, I have nothing to do with this. it's her. So, okay, can you share a moment when you took an action that moved your career forward beyond the switch from moving from France to Germany and switching industries?
Um, this is when I decided um, to take decisions. So I had a great pleasure working in the company, but then I wanted to get some new experience, and I resigned. And my boss told me, "No way. Uh, you have some value and we find a position for you." So this means, and I was explaining it. I was, I've got everything. I'm happy with the job. It's super interesting. I have a great position. I'm making money. Maybe not as much as the man. I don't know, but I don't think there was a big difference. I don't think so. But I said, well, I have to do something else. I want to move to more business position. I have to I wanted to do more things, and this is where my boss told me, no way, we're going to build something for you. And again, trusting me, gave me the opportunity to move to more business position and develop new way of working and getting some new skill and so on. So yeah, this was just, getting a clear picture where I want to be, what I want to do, what I like to, what I want to acquire. So this is also a question you have to ask yourself, and also to make the decision, not to blame others because you are unhappy, but to push yourself to go beyond the area where you are in comfort. So this was for me, okay, I'm going to find a new job. Probably not as good at the beginning, but I will get things moving forward. So I think this is super important, but I think this is for anybody. That's when I meet people, they are unhappy with the job, just ask yourself what you want to do, help yourself. And the others, they will help you.
Yeah.
But first of all, you have to make the decision yourself.
It's a big thing to resign from a job and have the your boss say no. You're too valuable to us. We're going to do anything we can to make you happy, so that you stay. So I'm interested if one of the things we talk about at Girls Who Print is that women are often in a position where they have to validate their existence at work. Like, here's the 30 things I did last week. Here's, describing things not like what do you do? I help customers get their job out but by saying I coordinate different departments. I help ensure creative and business results. There's different ways of explaining things. So all along the way up until that point where your boss decided that there was no way that you were leaving, were you doing that self-reporting? Were you bringing visibility to the value that you were adding to the company? Or was it just that you had a boss who recognized your contributions were critical?
No, I'm always actually it's a bit of both, I would say. But I'm always I have a sentence which is I tell what I do and I do what I tell. Or I say what I do and I do what I say. So this is trust, confidence, and announcing people, because when you say something, you can verify with people if this is the good way and if they understand it, and you can realign expectations. So you can change it, and then you change it, you adapt it to your surrounding to make sure this is also in line with the company strategy, with also the way of working all together. And then when you have told this, then you do it. I think this is something super important. But that's the way I'm working, I would say. So now, from your viewpoint, I think this is very important for women not to stay in one corner, working, in background. You have to make people aware about what you do, and there's different way of doing this. And I think this is super important. Not be shy, to ask, to tell. This is not, I would say, natural position women have in general. And what I'm trying to do when I have some young colleagues, women colleagues, this is also to try to get them, tell this, what you're doing is great, tell it, don't be shy. And I think this is something which is not easy for women because maybe again, this is a matter of education. I don't know. I don't know, but this is tell it to people, share it. You're great.
Yeah. And it's also about making sure that the invisible work that women often do is not invisible. Things like, well, give it to Deborah because we know she will get it done, and that client loves Deborah. So, sorry, there's a business trip now. You're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go on it, or anything where you're I don't want to say dumped on, but it is more that they know you can do. And I don't, when I say they, I don't mean gentlemen, I mean the management team. It doesn't matter. But often women get this work that does not necessarily fit into what they're supposed to do every day, and the literal amount of time in the day and in the week. So how do you make that invisible work visible to a company?
So I think this is just listening, you make a checkpoint list. That's what I've done. I like it. I know I can do it. But then this is also to tell, okay, I've done it. You agree it was a good job. I want to do some more differently, different things. So again, you have to express it. You have also to verify. This is also asking people, and that's not because you don't have somebody in your back telling you, "Oh, what you've done is good." It's very seldom you have this for many reasons. Because sometimes men they don't want to do this because maybe this is a relationship. They can do it in between them. They go, they get a beer, and they you did great. But with a woman, maybe there's a different a gap. I don't know. So you have also to verify, to ask people to try to be humble at that point. But when you see that the humble is not working, just make a push.
Definitely make a big push. So okay, when you went and resigned, and that's what you pinpointed it as a moment that where you took an action to move your career forward. What had brought you to that exact point in time? Was it a bunch of little things that were building up, or was it just like I'm done with this. I'm not growing?
Oh no, it was a mix. At that time, I had two small daughters. My husband wanted also to move in another position. We, I really had a lot of pleasure in my job, but then this was also a moment in my time in my woman life to give also some opportunity to my husband. So we had also some talk, and this was a decision. I would say this was a decision with my husband, and this was also a decision on my side because when you have this, you have to be in agreement with yourself. You have
Yeah.
to be in agreement with your family. And we decided, and I told my husband, okay, now it's your time. Just do it. And I will follow you, and I will find another job, probably different, but I will find some new things to do. And I had to move also physically because I was close to my office, and I had to move physically from my office. I was 500 kilometers away from my office, and I didn't know how I could manage, to continue working. So this was a tough decision. But this is where actually we find with my boss he told me, no way, you're going to work remotely. And this was in 2000.
Wow. Before
Remotely. So
before anybody was doing that.
absolutely. And I was an alien. At that time, I was an alien. I can tell you, I was totally an alien. When I was telling people I'm working from home, I thought they were doing some magic, and I was doing something like maybe, things that women can do sometimes. Look in a crystal ball and so on. No, no, no. I'm in technology. I'm working in Germany from nowhere else. So it was quite interesting moment. And then thanks to COVID, I must say, at that time, I'm back to a square box. I'm back to normal. 20 year, 20 year.
20 years. It's insane. What advice would you give to women who are thinking about their next move?
Um, Ask yourself what you want to do. Ask yourself what you like. Trust yourself. Align yourself with yourself. So be in peace with yourself and trust you. And then when you have the guidance, when you have the line, explore the different opportunity, talk to other people, maybe with women, but you can also get good advice from colleagues, men colleagues. So this is to be open, to discuss with people. But first of all, you have to know where you want to go. When you know this, then you have to align the different parameters to achieve it. But this is like for anything else, I would say, personal, career, whatever project it is. So, but first you have to be in peace with yourself and trust you.
If you wrote your career memoir right now, what would the title be, and who would you ask to write the forward?
Ooh, that's a question, my God. Deborah. First of all, I would say don't be scared. Uh, Define what you like to do. Uh, but above all, define what you really dislike because it's difficult to tell what you like. It's super easy to tell what you dislike, what you don't accept. So when you know already this framework, then you can try to accommodate with it. And what was the other part of your question?
Well, I think we're going to collectively name your book "Trust Yourself with Yourself" because everybody just loved that in the chat. So that's the name of your memoir, "Trust Yourself with Yourself." So
Yes,
then,
I think this is super important.
yes,
Yeah.
because you said it, of course, it's super important. Um,
Mm.
who would you ask to write the forward of the book? The introduction to "Trust Yourself with Yourself."
Probably a humanitarian woman, somebody working in, helping others in countries with a lot of troubles for kids or for women to help women. So maybe somebody, working in Africa or in Asia. That's probably something very important because I was lucky enough to be educated, but look at all those women around the world. Uh, they're not existing. They don't have the same rights as we do have here. So she's probably somebody, dedicated her time. This would be a woman or maybe a man, dedicated their time to others, to help others, to help others, making them getting a better life. Probably.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your information. Sandy, if you can pop Isabel's link to LinkedIn in the chat, and we hopefully everybody will connect with you. We will be releasing the podcast that we did as soon as I get approval from Isabelle and Pauline, who's in the chat as well. So thank you again to DALIM Software. Thank you, Isabelle. And Kels, you want to jump on for a minute before we start our next session?
Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, Isabelle. Au revoir.